Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 16 of Sideline Specialists podcast. We are going to start off discussing what a week two in the NFL that this was. Alex will be joining me shortly. For now, it's just going to be me. I This week made no sense to me at all. At all. My brain hurts because I just desperately want to understand how so many upsets can occur within 1 week. So, obviously, the Thursday night game featured Tua getting his third concussion in as many years, which is a massive shame. So, we'll send our thoughts and prayers his way. Hope he's actually going to be all right. But we're not going to overthink that whole thing. It is his life, it is his decision until the league steps in or family steps in and tells him to get out of the game. So leave him to do that. Bills look good though. James Cook had I could easily say the best game of his career so far. Was just kind of all over the place. Did a great job everywhere. 7.1 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, and then he had a receiving touchdown as well on a 17-yard catch. Yeah, they had a lot of short fields, so nobody's yardage was too crazy. Let's move back. We obviously have. I'll just say this about the Bengals and the Chiefs. That wasn't pass interference. The end. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that game because it just pisses me off. It's 2 weeks in a row the Chiefs have been given a gift. Saints Cowboys. Alvin Kamara's day. Good Lord. So Derek Carr, 11 of 16, 243. That's crazy. Just yards per reception. But obviously Kamara, 20 carries, 115 yards, 6 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, and he caught one as well. He had 2 catches for 65 yards. Probably player of the day. He should probably win player of the week this week for the NFC for sure. But for the Saints to go into Dallas and win by 25 is not what anybody expected in the slightest. So definitely, as an Eagles fan, made me smile. I was working while the game was on. I kept looking and it brought me a sense of joy. I think most people would agree. So Bucks Lions. Bucks get revenge for last year's playoff loss. Goff had 2 interceptions. He just did not look his normal self. And then the one thing I already saw when I looked at the stats for this game, 55 passing attempts to only, let's call it 25 rushing attempts, because 5 yards for Goff, I'm just going to assume he scrambled and were not designed runs. So that just doesn't make sense to me when you have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. There needs to be more balance there, in my opinion. Whereas I look at the Bucks, they took advantage of better field position because of those turnovers. So you don't see crazy numbers by any means, but Baker didn't have a bad day. Chris Godwin looked like he was back. Rashad White did, I believe, get hurt in this game, and he also, even before getting hurt, was not producing very much. But the Bucks get a nice win on the road against the Lions team that was definitely favored. Probably thought they were going to win that. Here's this one's probably the biggest shocker. I have to point this out because this is crazy to me. So Anthony Richardson, 17 of 34, so 50% completion rating. That's rough. That's really, really rough. And you compare that to Malik Willis, who coming into this game hadn't, I don't think, won a start yet. And he goes 12 of 14, has a just solid day back there. But the star of this game, Josh Jacobs, 32 carries. They handed this man the ball 32 times. They ran the ball 53 times. That's honestly nuts to me. Obviously, you get props to Jaden Reed, probably some big old end arounds. Got some good yardage there. And they asked Shane Steichen after the game, well, why didn't Jonathan Taylor really play in the fourth? It's like whatever answer you gave there was just going to sound like crap. You have a really good running back. Why are you not using him? You need offensive diversity to be able to win in this league. They did not have that. They did not win. Colts fall to 0-2. Green Bay gets a win after losing to the Eagles last week. Gets them back on the right track a little bit. But they're still behind Minnesota in that division now. The Jets get their first win with Aaron Rodgers over a very tough defense on the road. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So, nothing insane in this game. Calvin Ridley had a solid day, 20 yards per catch, a touchdown. But there's no numbers in this game that actually just jump, in my opinion. Levis didn't even have that bad of a day. I mean, completion to attempt ratio is better than Rodgers. But I think the Jets are a team that if they can get rolling, will look a lot better in the long run. At the moment, they need to figure some things out, though. All right, there's just shockers all across the board. So we have the Niners who traveled to Minnesota. And in my head, I saw this on the schedule and just thought, logically, the Niners have this game. They looked good even without McCaffrey in week 1. I just betting odds, everything told me Niners will win this game. They did not. And to be honest, Purdy, 319 yards is deceiving. I feel like he spread it out really well. I'll give him that. But there were just some plays where he got sacked and he just stood there for way too long. And kind of like, I don't want to say deer in the headlights. There's a couple plays where he does make some really nice maneuvers to get a throw off. He found Debo on a perfect sideline pass. But Darnold just looked good. And even the pick he threw, Fred Warner made a phenomenal play because he is a phenomenal linebacker. So, really fun game to watch. Obviously, Justin Jefferson had that 97-yard bomb in awesome play. Definitely set the tone for the game. And Minnesota gets a really, really, really good, like, huge win at home. Takes the lead in the NFC North. It's early, but they've been looking pretty good. All right, let's. Okay, so no two shocking wins in a row for New England. Geno had 44 pass attempts. Obviously, Kenneth Walker being out means he was going to get the lion's share on his shoulders for the Seahawks to get a W this week, and it did not faze him at all. DK Metcalf, 10 catches, 129 yards. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 12 catches, 117. Just very solid game from Geno. He looked poised. He didn't make any stupid throws, stupid mistakes. New England didn't play a bad game either. Defensively, they looked solid up front. Obviously, the back end was giving up a lot, but Hunter Henry, definitely their standout. Broke the 100-yard mark for first time in a long time, I think. And Gibson, obviously a new addition this year, 11 carries for 96 is very solid. So they have some potential. I'm not going to say they're going to actually do anything in that division. I think the Bills have it pretty much wrapped up as long as they stay healthy. But not a bad game. Not a bad game at all. Another solid, I say solid, not amazing performance by Jaden Daniels. Obviously no touchdown passes, but no interceptions thrown and no fumbles. So can't be mad at that. Daniel Jones did have 2 touchdown passes. The Giants became the first team in NFL history to have scored 3 touchdowns while allowing none and lose in regulation. Because, of course, the Giants would be the first team to do that. Singletary had a solid day, 6 yards per carry on 16 carries is great. Malik Neighbors looks as advertised. If they had a real quarterback, they would actually probably be really terrifying. But outside of Singletary and Neighbors, they don't really have much going on. On the offensive side of things, it's just a weird game. Just a very, very weird game. Washington literally 7 field goals in one game, and they get a win off that. A win is a win, and they will take it. This one will be very quick. It's the Panthers. They just benched Bryce Young, by the way. He looked lost again. Herbert looked solid. I know there's an INT in there. It was a very nice play by J.C. Horn. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards is a duo, looking real good. 44 carries combined. Yeah, they ran the ball at Carolina all day, and it was effective. They burned clock. They got downfield. Quentin Johnson finished 2 drives with 2 touchdowns. Very, very solid. Browns Jags. This game was I'll say a defensive war that the Browns did in the end win. They did actually get a safety in this game. Yeah, I mean, I watched the highlights. It's obviously not the most exciting game. Lawrence was 14 of 30. That's pretty abysmal. Deshaun looked better, but he still doesn't look great. I think Cleveland needs a lot of work, but they have pieces in certain places that always make them competitive, in my opinion. Obviously, they made the playoffs last year. Their defense always shows up. See what they do going forward. Okay. Vegas and Baltimore. Now, this one, Alex is in here right now. I don't know when he's going to pop in, but he will. This one hurts him. He is a Ravens fan. My dad is a Raiders fan, so I know he was jumping for joy at this. But Minshew had a solid day. The one pick is what it is. We deal with that. 30 of 38 is very good. 276 yards. Had a touchdown to Devontae. Brock Bowers had 9 targets, 9 catches. He looks as advertised. The hype was real, and the hype was accurate. So they did give Derrick Henry the ball more. And unfortunately, it still was not enough. Ravens should be worried. Ravens should be a little bit worried. I know they are a good team, but 0-2 in that division is always tough, especially how things have gone. Obviously, the Steelers are now 2-0. You have the Browns at 1-1, and Bengals and Ravens at 0-2. So I mean, nobody's guaranteed that division at all, because the Steelers' offense, although they're winning, has not looked like it's a world beater by any means. So that one is still up in the air for sure. Now we get to Arizona. And given all the injuries to San Francisco thus far, Kittle and Debo and McCaffrey, this division just got really, really interesting. Because the Rams lost a really tight game in week 1, and they got absolutely spanked by Arizona this past week. Kyler goes 17 of 21 for 266, 3 touchdowns, a perfect passer rating for the day. And then you think the passing's enough, right? James Conner, 21 carries, 5.8 yards per carry, touchdown. Kyler ran for another 60. They looked pretty unstoppable for most of this game. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s coming out party. 2 touchdowns on only 4 catches, 130 yards. Fantastic job. Great win by Arizona to bounce back off a tough, close loss in Buffalo in a game that a lot of people think that they should have won. So, good signs for Arizona going forward. Obviously, same deal, tough division. Seattle is never a slouch. And San Fran still finds ways to win despite injuries. So we will have to see how that looks going forward. Steelers Broncos. This was the most boring game of the week, in my opinion. Bo Nix, 2 more interceptions. Not a great passer rating. Just all of the things I thought he would be. He has not been yet. I thought he would be more poised and able to make solid throws, even while under pressure. And he has not been that yet. So obviously their receiving core is it's interesting. You got Lil Jordan Humphrey with 4 catches, Josh Reynolds, Cortland Sutton with only 1 catch. They released Tim Patrick. They moved on from Jerry Jeudy in the offseason. The whole team looks very different. I think they'll get some wins this year. I think it'll take some time. Over on the Steelers side, obviously Fields only had 117 yards passing. Solid rating, had a touchdown. Um, but they're going to need more production out of their offense as time goes on to be able to hang in some games on their schedule for sure. And then last night's game, I don't even know what to think about this because Caleb Williams didn't look good again. He doubled his yardage just about from week one, but his interceptions were rough balls that just should not have been thrown. Just really not ideal. That third quarter was brutal too. There were so many penalties and just clock stoppages. I swear to God, it took like half my life. Nico Collins, everybody was like, oh, well, Diggs is here, so he's not going to produce as much. Incorrect. Nico Collins is a great receiver. He's going to get his targets, and he did. Eight receptions on 10 targets, 17 yards per catch, and a touchdown. I think Houston will find their offensive balance as time goes on. They didn't look like perfect by any means. I think they could have won this game by a lot more. But they still get a win. They're 2-0. And in that division, that is gonna put them in a nice spot. So obviously they are the only team with a win in that division. They have two of them. You have the Chargers and Chiefs at 2-0 in the AFC West. The Raiders obviously right behind them at 1-1. In the AFC East, you have the Bills alone on top with the three teams behind them all tied at 1-1. We will transition down to the NFC. Eagles at 1-0. They pretty much start their second game right about now. Washington gets their first win. Dallas got schmacked. The Giants obviously just look abysmal. Vikings sitting alone at the top, which is a beautiful thing. Saints and Bucks both sitting there at 2-0. Obviously, the Saints have scored 91 points these first 2 weeks, which is unbelievable. Love that for them. And I love that for Derek Carr because everybody's been talking shit on him for so long now. It's been obnoxious. So I would love to see him do well and just shut some people up, at least for a little while. I do anticipate him coming back down to earth at some point. However, that has not happened as of yet. So we have football, ladies and gentlemen. We have football. So I can't share the broadcast, but I have it on so I can watch the Eagles try and get a nice home win here on Monday Night Football. Hoping Alex shows up soon so I can stop talking to the air. Oh, for fuck's sake. Ineligible man downfield. Oh, yeah, he way down there. That's annoying. No, it's all right. 1st and 15, Eagles from their own 42.5-yard line. Covey in motion. Hurts running and gains about 1.5 yards. That was kind of a pointless play, if I'm going to be honest. Once Alex is here, we can go over college and everything too, by the way. So that way, I actually have somebody to bounce off of with all that. College was pretty good this week, so I'll open that up on my phone. College scoreboard on ESPN. And actually, you know what? For this 2 seconds, I will be right back. Everybody who listens to this or whatever, if you hear silence, it's because I'm not at my computer. Be right back. Well, I guess that's a shitty first drive by the Birds there. Unideal. Nice. All right. Good punt. Good punt by man. Got him pinned down at the 8-yard line. Come on, Alex. Let's go, Sunshine. Let's close that. Close that. This commercial has good music.
What up?
Yo.
What's
buddy? I got through all the week 2 scores and going through like stats and stuff, but that's all I did. So
sweet. Sounds good to me. I can actually bring up our picks then because I have
sweet
outcome of our week 2 picks.
Yeah, it should be pretty rough.
Yeah, you had a much better week than I did. So
okay.
That is where we're at now. You are now on top of the standings.
Oh shit. Okay. Damn, look at my streak. Because I picked Minnesota for fun and it ended up being correct, which is hilarious. But
it's funny because both of our for fun picks ended up being right. Like I picked the Saints over the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then you picked the Vikings over the 49ers.
But it was like, oh man, so many of the ones that felt like sure things this week, like they're pretty much all at the top, to be honest. Like, that grouping of 4, the Colts losing was crazy because they didn't use Taylor in the fourth quarter at all.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. The Lions losing to the Bucks because Goff just didn't look horrible, but those picks were bad.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I just looked at their play calling too. He had 55 pass attempts.
Dude, I
just don't get it.
It's crazy because out of all those pass attempts too, you would think that Sam Laporta would be in the mix.
Yeah.
And he had 2 receptions.
Yeah, and he didn't even have that many more targets. It wasn't like
he had 3 targets.
Receptions on him. Exactly. Like it wasn't like he dropped a bunch or just got missed. Like he just didn't get thrown to.
No. It was Amon-Ra with 19 targets, which I'm fine with. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like he's great. Jamison Williams 11 targets. which
That's
he
fine.
has been better this year. I'll give him that.
And they're
But
using
then,
him better, to be honest. Like,
but then outside of them, the next highest was Jahmyr Gibbs with 7 targets. It's like, I understand Gibbs is a good pass catching back, but you got to get Laporta involved. Look at
I
what he
know.
did in his rookie season.
And then, but just it was the ratio. Like, you had 55 pass attempts to only 25 rushing attempts because I took Goff's 2 rushing things out because he probably scrambled, so it wasn't like it was designed.
Right.
It's just confusing because it's like you guys could have easily had a game plan to beat this team because you did it in the playoffs last year, and they were missing some key defensive players. So I don't know, maybe it's a blip. Obviously, they need to balance that a lot better. But the Colts, man, God, I'm disappointed.
I know.
Richardson looked horrible. 50% completion rating, 3 picks. I mean, I know you're playing in Lambeau. It's a tough place to play, but damn.
But to lose to Malik Willis?
Yeah, well, Malik Willis goes 12 of 14.
Yeah.
And then Josh Jacobs has 1 million carries and does well on all of them. It's just it's a weird week. There's a reason the phrase "any given Sunday" has so much meaning, and God, this week exemplified that. So,
I mean, I was just, and it's not that I want to say it first. It's not that the Raiders are a bad team, but for the Ravens, it's like you just had a heartbreaking loss to the team that you've wanted to get revenge on. Lamar is only like his record against the Chiefs is terrible. And then
straight ass,
yeah. And then you come home for the home opener. You do all the shout outs and the rituals for Jacoby Jones and the offensive line coach that passed away. You have all this stuff going on. Derrick Henry playing well, and you find a way to lose. Not just lose, get blown out, whatever. You're winning by 10 in the second half.
But that's what I mean. Going into the fourth, the Raiders were 0 and God knows what in the last, I don't know how many years, being down 10 going into the fourth. 0 and 50 plus. It literally was just such a high number. So for them to break that streak in Baltimore on a day that had so much meaning for the Ravens, that's why it's tough for me. Because I'm you needed to win because of what that division is. We know these teams sometimes have slow starts. The Bengals looked a lot better yesterday in a game that got given to the Chiefs again, period. So it just,
I can't stand that either.
That was not a PI. I'm sorry. No universe is that a PI. I cannot believe that was called. But to go 0-2 now is tough. I think they're still in a fine spot because the Steelers offense does not look good. We knew it wasn't going to be good, but they've just confirmed it.
The Steelers defense is just otherworldly, like they almost always are.
The Browns are the team that if they figure it out on offense are going to be a tough team to stay with, I think, because you and I agree on that. If their offense starts clicking at any pace at all, their defense always keeps them in games regardless. So, and this week Deshaun looked better, but their defense looked great again. So,
yeah, if they just start Jameis Winston like we talked about, I bet you they'll probably be fine.
They could go 12-5. They could go 12-5 with Jameis Winston off the back of their defense, and the fact that Jameis is not that ass, and Jerry Jeudy looks like a receiver that should have been playing, getting way more looks in the NFL. Obviously, the Broncos just were not a good team at all. So I think Judy's just excited for a change of scenery, even if the QB situation is cloudy. He's been doing fine. So, but yeah, just fun week. A lot of wins you and I did agree on at the bottom.
Yep.
Arizona clapped LA's cheeks. And I feel bad for LA because Puka and Cooper Kupp are both hurt now. So,
but finally, Kyler Murray realizes it is his job to get Marvin Harrison the ball.
I think he probably got so much fucking shit from not only the media and fans, but probably people within the team. We took this guy 4th overall, it is absolutely your job to use him.
Exactly.
Like we didn't take him that early for no reason, and look what happens. 4 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And that second touchdown was gorgeous. That dive, he dove from like 6 with a guy on him and still made it.
Yeah.
Freak athlete. We knew he was. Awesome to see, though. Awesome to see him get his first like big moment, and it didn't take long. Week 2, so.
Yep, I love it. And that if Kyler Murray just didn't say that dumbass quote of like "it's not my job," that probably wouldn't be as magnified.
Yeah.
But like, dude, that is literally your job description, to throw the ball to wide receivers.
I think. And truth be told, too, I think he probably said it and knew it was stupid as soon as he said it. Because I don't think he's not stupid. Like, he's a dude who was drafted top 10 in 2 sports. Like, he has a bright mind, and we all know that. It's just, in the moment, anybody can say anything, and obviously that's probably one that he's already self-reflected and been like, yeah, nah, he's kind of a really good player. We should probably do my job, which is literally throwing the ball to players. But...
But yeah, I mean, week 2, it was fun just seeing, some of those upsets and some of the different teams kind of roll out different things. But I don't know did you go over any of the injuries yet?
I did not. I was saving that because I know there's a lot, and it's really depressing.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about it last week because it didn't officially happen just yet last week, but Christian McCaffrey obviously on the IR, so he's out for at least 4 games, including the one that just happened.
Can I say one literally just because I got the update right now?
Yeah.
And the game's on. It just said A.J. Brown expects, like he himself expects to miss multiple weeks, not just today. So,
damn it.
Yeah, so...
Can I just tell you who's on my one dynasty fantasy team right now?
Go ahead.
I have AJ Brown,
Christian
McCaffrey.
Oh dear.
Puka Nacua.
Oh dear.
Isiah Pacheco.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
And T. Higgins.
I have Stafford, and he has no one to throw to now, so disaster. But
that's true. But so Isiah Pacheco out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken fibula. Fractured fibula. Obviously, with the way that Pacheco runs, like he's trying to run through a brick wall, that isn't conducive to his play style. And then Cooper Kupp out for, I think they said at least a few weeks. I don't think they gave a specific timeline. Brought up Puka Nacua. He's on the IR. He's out for at least 4 weeks. Deebo Samuel, calf strain, out for a few weeks as well. I feel like there was some others that I'm missing right now.
There are. I mean, I have the Rotoballer thing up, so I'll see if any of these just kind of like stick out as I go through. All right, well, here's good news. Herbert had x-rays done and they were negative, so he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's massive for the Chargers.
Jawan Bentley, the linebacker for the Patriots, he's out for the season. He is a torn pec.
Man. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then it's the Chiefs are bringing in Kareem Hunt for a visit as the potential fill-in for Pacheco at this time, which that just makes me laugh. But
oh yeah,
like you moved on from him before because of all that shit, and then now you're like, oh yeah, come on back. So, Evan Ingram week to week.
Yep. The Tua. We didn't talk about Tua.
I mentioned him when I touched on the.
Oh, okay.
Bills. Yeah, his just because like
scary situation. I mean, I love the response from Mike McDaniel. I love him talking about and telling people like, hey, we shouldn't really be talking about him stepping away from football. We should be just wondering if he's going to be okay. Like, get that down first.
Exactly.
And then worry about retirement or coming back or whatever after that.
Okay, well, we got a couple. All right, here's a couple other ones. Jermaine Johnson of the Jets linebacker, tore his Achilles. That is obviously going to be the end of his season. That's fucking brutal. Do not wish that on him. Big news coming out of Carolina today. Bryce Young has been benched in favor of Andy Dalton going forward.
Yeah, that's...
When you see the trade details, what Carolina gave up to Chicago and what Chicago has acquired with picks and the players they got in that deal, and it's just so lopsided. And it's just kind of mind blowing. Obviously, I hope Bryce Young can mentally get himself into a position to win, because I just don't think he's looked like who we saw at Alabama at all. Even just his facial expressions, demeanor, everything. That franchise has just been in disarray since David Tepper bought it. Let's be honest here. So until that dude gets the hell out of there and stops trying to dictate what the team is, I think they're just going to be pretty mediocre.
I felt bad for the dude, because at one point they showed like clips and stuff where it looked like he was about to cry or something, and I just in that moment felt bad for him, because
for
it's
fuck's
just
sake, Philly.
Oh, what happened?
What the fuck are we doing? They went for it on 4th and 4, deep in Atlanta's territory, to be fair, but the play looked broken as soon as Hurts rolled to the right and just couldn't find jack shit. Tried to force one to Goddard, and he was just really well covered. No interception or anything, but obviously turnover on down. So.
Oh yeah, just saw the replay right there. Oh yeah,
he was shoved a little bit, but the guy's facing the. Okay, is that reaction to what just happened?
Yeah.
Okay, my girlfriend agrees. That was pretty shit.
Yep, it looked pretty shit from the replay.
I mean, I get going forward early, and obviously the Falcons have to start their drive from literally the 5 now, so it's not like. But I would take the points.
Yeah, I would too, especially this early on. Yeah, so I felt bad for Bryce Young. I know he's not that good, and there was something I remember reading. I forget what the exact stat was, but he was only pressured on 4 dropbacks or something in the last game, and had the worst ever completion percentage on such low pressure in a game.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's the kid, he's second year in the league. His rookie season, you give him a completely awful Panthers team. This year, I don't even know if you can say they're better than they were last year, because it's essentially the same exact team. Their running back they drafted hasn't even played yet. Their offensive line has not gotten better at all. I guess the only thing you can say is Deontay Johnson's there. He's better than Mingo being the wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
But other than that, they traded away Burns. They traded away their defense got worse. So I just think while Bryce Young has not been good, bringing in any other quarterback is not going to all of a sudden vault you into better chances. You might win 1 or 2 more games, but that's about it. You're not turning into a playoff team.
Agreed.
And in that division right now, too, it's just the Bucs have been moving in the right direction, drafting well and signing smart, signing intelligently.
Right.
Saints, clearly, I mean, their offense to start the year is historically good, genuinely. 91 points in 2 games is second ever. I mean, it's an insane, since the merger, it's literally the second most points through 2 games ever.
And they punted for the first time in 2 games with 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter of this past game. Their first punt.
Insane.
Season.
First 15 drives came away with points of some variety. Insanity. And it was crazy too, because you and I agreed it was the Panthers they beat in week 1.
Yeah.
And they're going to face a much better team in Dallas, and they did the same exact thing to Dallas. Nice run by Bijan. Got like 20 yards. Little bastard.
Look at that, finally using him correctly.
Yeah, as a guy who has the strength to and the burst to actually just run downhill.
Yeah.
That was a nice cut. Oh my god. Who is 20? Who did he just cook? Someone fell over on his cut. Was that Quinion? That was Quinion. Welcome to the league, Rook. Welcome to the league. Oh shit. That was funny. All right. Get some hands on him. All right. 3 yards. Good job.
But yeah, so I actually wanted to bring up something fun here before we can jump into college football or whatever after, and then obviously we'll do our week 3 picks at the end. Yep. But I wanted to have our own type of power rankings. And
dude, I did the same shit. I literally did the same shit this week, just out of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's like, but hold on, we're doing it a different way. It's not just ranking them 1 through 32.
Oh, I did like 1 through 10 with honorable mentions.
We're doing tier maker.
Hey, let's go.
And so we have, for those that might not be watching on YouTube, I suggest coming to watch this because it'll be fun, more fun that way. But we have Super Bowl contenders as the top, playoff teams as the second best, mid as the third, ass as fourth, and super ass as fifth. And now I put the Eagles and the Falcons very last because obviously their week 2 game is still going on as we speak. Makes sense. We can just kind of go in order here. So we can start with the Cardinals. Where would you put the Cardinals?
Picked off. Oh, no, Quinion. That's fine. He defended the pass. 4th down. Let's go. Sorry.
It's all good.
He almost took it from him. Cardinals, I'm going to put playoff team right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to think situationally, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Niners are the biggest threat in that division. We know that. And they are really shorthanded everywhere now for at least a little bit. And and even with a lot of their weapons still in the field, they did lose a game. Because Purdy had, 320 yards? Like, it's not like they weren't moving the ball in offense. They couldn't finish. And if you can't finish, it doesn't matter who's performing well. So, in that division, the Rams are 0-2. Seattle is probably their biggest threat for the next 4 or 5 weeks. And I think Arizona's offense smokes Seattle, so I'm going to have them playoff.
That's true.
I'll let you do the Ravens because I know this is personal.
Obviously, with their potential and everything, I want to put them playoff team. However, their offensive line has just been absolutely awful. And they've experimented with different people on the offensive line in the second game. And Max Crosby just made them look terrible, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. Max Crosby is not like an easy person to block. And then in week 1, you played Chris Jones. Again, not an easy person to block. But now they have to go back on the road and play the Cowboys, who have Micah Parsons. Again, not an easy person to block.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's home against Buffalo, which, Buffalo's been playing well, so they're not going to be an easy team. Then you have your first division game at Cincinnati.
And they're obviously pissed off now, too, and starting to look better.
Exactly. Burrow is healthy.
And it's past his week 2 window of playing like shit.
Yep. Jamar Chase finally looked decent. They had there's talk about T. Higgins positively trending. So he's probably going to be there by week 5. And again, it's an away game, so never easy. And then finally, you get an easier game home against the Commanders. Home is kind of neither here nor there because for Commanders fans, it's like right up the street. But it's the Commanders. And if you lose that game at home against the Commanders, your season is pretty much fucking toast. Especially if you don't win more than one of the previous 3 games.
Well, it's like a mini gauntlet, right? And the whole beginning of the season is the first 5 for the Ravens are a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Because even the Raiders, like as much as the record last year would indicate, like, oh, they're not like a threat. You and I agreed in this whole offseason, like they're gonna play better. And they came in and stole a win. I think you could still put them playoff team, but obviously we can adjust this as the weeks go on.
It'll probably be a week-to-week thing, but to me, I'm putting them right now at mid.
Okay, and I get it. Like what we've seen so far, Lamar hasn't looked like himself. A lot of missed throws that he usually makes, so there's something there too.
And each game is like one. He has one receiver that he connects with, and then the rest are all just non-existent.
Absolutely.
So it's like, yeah. Anyway, Buffalo.
I'm gonna take the risk here because I think not only divisionally are they going to be fine, but I'm going to put them as a Super Bowl contender.
Oh, okay.
I think Josh Allen has had enough years in a row now where he's shown us a level of poise and ability to utilize what he's given that they're ready for it. I think you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yes, you lost Stephon Diggs, but to be honest, the locker room is probably better now because there isn't smoke without fire. And obviously all the media saying there's drama. I don't care what the team is saying at that point. If that shit's coming out that much, something's wrong. And obviously he then gets traded. So you go, okay, well, we were all right. And you just wanted to lie. Shakir is a good receiver. Keon Coleman looks solid. James Cook looks like he's about to have his coming out year. I think they're set. Their defense looks solid. Oh God, Jalen.
Oh,
just please
get though.
I know, but it's just this without AJ Brown so far. This has looked pretty ugly.
Yeah, it has.
They need to. Kellen Moore needs to come up with something different.
Yep.
Big time.
I would absolutely put them at the very least playoff team because, I mean, Cook looked good against Miami. Josh Allen looked good in week 1. Obviously, Kincaid is a solid tight end. The wide receivers will work their way in. Keon Coleman has been decent. I mean, you'll get some other things from like Curtis Samuel and people like that. But the defense, I will admit, is a lot better than I expected, especially because they lost a few key pieces from that defense.
Yeah.
But the one thing that
young energy guys, and that's why it looks fast.
The one thing that will hurt is I think it was Terrell Bernard that got hurt. And he was their like main middle linebacker. I think he was the captain. And he left with a pec injury in the first quarter. And this says pec strain could keep him out for about a month. So like 3-4 games. I mean, they can still
schedule for that.
They could still tread water.
Yeah.
Like, I know they play the Ravens. They play the Jags next week. That should be a win against the Jags. The Jags have been, I mean, they'll be pissed off because they're 0-2 so far, but at least they're home against the Jags. Then at Ravens, at Texans, at Jets. That's a rough 3-game road stretch.
Yeah, what the hell?
And then home against the Titans, at the Seahawks, and then home against the Dolphins again. And
but if he's out for a month, he should be back by the Titans game, I would think.
Probably.
So.
And Titans is a win, Seahawks is a win. Dolphins are another win because Josh Allen just steps on the Dolphins' neck every time.
I'll say Colts are a win. And then they get the Chiefs in Buffalo. So I could see that also being a win too. Because obviously that rivalry has just been growing. They find a way to face each other every damn year. So but I mean we'll leave Buffalo up there.
Yeah, looking at their schedule, I do like that. So Panthers, obviously, super ass.
It doesn't even need discussion.
Nope. Bears.
I'm
I'm
gonna say
saying
ass. I'm gonna say ass. Yeah.
We're seeing that it wasn't all Justin Fields' fault.
Exactly.
Even though everyone wanted it to be.
Well, that fan base, they are the as far as viewership goes, like the numbers of people that tune into a football game that are like actually local to a team,
right?
They watch the most. They had the highest number. So like they are a devoted fan base, but they're just as nuts as like Eagles, whatever. And they're very quick to blame. And Fields was easy to blame because you draft a guy that early, he becomes scapegoated pretty easily. Caleb Williams does not look good, but he should because the weapons around him indicate he should look fine. And so far he doesn't. So we have to leave them at ass at the moment because a team like Minnesota, who we all thought was kind of doomed to just inadequacy, so far has looked really good. So
that's true.
We'll do that for now. I'm going to put the Bengals right next to your Ravens at mid at the moment until I see them do something. I think any team that started 0-2 can't be put anywhere above that. We already kind of touched on them. Obviously, they have a lot of things to deal with. You have contract drama for basically a whole damn receiver room. Obviously, T. Higgins on a franchise tag. He doesn't want to be on that, so we'll see how they go. Look going forward. They need a win. They play Washington next week on Monday night. They are definitely going to want that to be their first win of the season. So
they better.
We shall see. Cleveland.
I think I'm putting Cleveland also in the same category.
Yeah.
I mean, because like we said, the defense looked better. The offense looked okay, but Deshaun Watson still looks nothing close to what everyone expected him to be after his time in Houston. Yeah. And obviously there's still hope in the run game when like Nick Chubb eventually comes back, but we have no idea what he's going to look like after being sidelined for so long with such a major injury.
And he's been hurt multiple times now. And he's one of those positions that takes more hits than anybody else. He could look different. I want to believe he won't because he is an incredible player, but Jesus Christ. Falcons are getting points this drive. Anyway, so yeah, we'll put Cleveland there. Cleveland's a team I could see moving up, and I think you agree. Like, if their offense, like we said, if their offense clicks, they become scary. Until that happens, though,
I could see all three of these AFC North teams moving up.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it was literally what was the situation to like last season? 3 teams in that division made it.
Yep,
it's not uncommon. It is a power division where all the teams do compete for those playoff spots. Fumble.
Oh,
did he get that back or did the Eagle?
The Eagles needed that if they get it.
I don't think he did. I think Bijan got it because he's strong as fuck. Yeah, he did. Probably. Son of a bitch.
Zach Bond has been great for the Eagles so far.
I know, but I wish he won that little battle of wills there.
Yeah.
Oh, the handoff sucked.
He fumbled the handoff right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Damn you for having sure hands. Dallas.
Cowboys, week 1, I would have had them Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
But week 2, they looked pretty bad.
They got to be mid because you split the difference between super ass, which is what they look this week, and Super Bowl contender. They look week 1, so you just got to go mid.
True.
Their run game is going to be their demise. And their lack of ability to diversify their offense is going to shoot them in the foot in the long run. You cannot move on from Pollard back to Elliott, who you had previously released because you clearly didn't think he was like worth it or good enough at that time. And it's a weird situation. Receiver wise, I do like what they have. But it comes down to Dak and like it just we have not seen him win anything big yet. And this year just doesn't feel like the year for that to change. And the way the Saints dismantled them in their own building is wild. Like the defense looked like they didn't exist. The offense couldn't do a damn thing outside of that one really good move by CeeDee Lamb. So they are mid until further notice.
If their rush defense is that bad, Derrick Henry better get like 18 touchdowns. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Denver, I would put ass.
Yeah.
I don't think they're super ass. I mean, Bo Nix hasn't been great. Don't get me wrong.
They haven't given up a ton of points yet, though.
Right. I think their defense is the only reason they're not super ass. If their defense wasn't what they are right now, they would definitely be down in the super ass section. Especially because, like you just said with Dallas, Denver's run game, like, we're looking at Javonte Williams, who was supposed to be very good, obviously major injury.
Sorry.
And then Jaleel McLaughlin hasn't been doing much. Estime got hurt. So it's like their run game isn't there.
Yeah.
And with Bo Nix, he's just had a rough start so far. So, leaving them there. Detroit. I would put them at playoff team.
Because I think you and I both agree when you look at what they have, their defense is not bad. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson is a goddamn monster.
Dude is
monster. So
I played against him in an IDP fantasy league, and it really sucked.
But I look at, like, offensively, we know what their weapons are, and this week was just weird to me. Like, the offensive balance was way off. You mentioned Laporta already.
Yep.
It just literally, like, non-existent. They'll fix it. They'll figure that out, I think. And I think they know they have to, because Jordan Love is not going to be out forever. Right. And the Packers are a good football team. I think you and I both agree Minnesota will eventually hit a wall here. That's at least in my head they will. So for now, the Lions definitely need to step on the gas and start like just take the lead in that division and start padding it when they still can.
Their defense is what needs to step up the most.
Agreed.
So, and I have faith in them doing that.
I'm putting Green Bay at playoff team.
Even without Jordan Love right now?
They got to win without him. And he's not, and it's not like long term, so I have to assume. They played a great game against the Eagles week 1. They showed the kind of big playability they have, and then Josh Jacobs in week 2 showed the kind of run game they can have. So I think they've shown enough, and then to have 3 interceptions and a forced fumble. I think, literally, like, both sides of the ball, they've shown they've got what they need to have to make the playoffs. And they made it last year and won a game. So I can't, I'm not going to remove them from that just yet. If Love was out like the rest of the season, I'd have them at ass, but he's coming back, and I think they'll be fine. Obviously 7 teams make it on each side. So I'll assume that the Lions and Packers will be the 2 from that division.
Yeah, I would be surprised if anyone else makes it over them from there.
And I was thinking, like, Minnesota, obviously, if Darnold does have one of these just magic years, because it does happen. Like, there's a Case Keenum year for them. Obviously, they made an NFC championship. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but we got to see way more games before we decide if they're looking really good for real. So,
and Green Bay's next 4 games are Titans, Vikings, Rams, Cardinals. All 4 winnable games.
The Packers is the scariest for sure. I think, or like the Cardinals, they just score so much.
Yeah,
they score so much. So that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, I'll confidently put them playoff team. I think they definitely have the roster for it. So
I agree. Texans. I think. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, because the defense has looked good. The offense, we obviously know what that is. Joe Mixon got a little shaken up, but Mixon has looked very solid to start the season. And a lot of people were not giving him the time of day.
He had an MRI today, but the results are not out yet. So obviously, the best sign for him is he came back in the game and did play after initially leaving. So that's usually that's like a good indication that he might be okay. But we'll wait and see on that. Obviously, that would change things a lot. They do have Dameon Pierce. They wouldn't be completely lost. Obviously, the receiving core, the guys that Stroud loved last year, are still there, minus Noah Brown, and Diggs has fit in pretty well so far. So, they have a really well built roster. They're well coached. They're very confident. I think, or even early in the season, we put them at Super Bowl contender because, especially in that division, like they have a chance to get 6 wins divisionally. That helps them with the potential of a first round bye. Yeah. And that's huge. So we'll put them up there for now. I think it's safe. It's probably one of the safer ones on here, to be honest.
Oh, I agree. So that takes us to the Colts, and I'm probably dropping the Colts in here at ass.
Yeah, I would agree. And I don't even want to blame players as much as I want to blame offensive coordination.
Yeah.
For this last game, but that's a thing that obviously week to week, that affects the entire offense. It's not just like one guy screwing you, and Richardson with 3 picks is just not a good sign. So.
Exactly. And it's just like Richardson was always going to take a while to get up to speed because he didn't play much in the first year before getting hurt.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, the defense has plenty of holes. So it's just kind of like it is what it is at this point. You kind of just got to take this season as like a learning season and then step up the next year after you fill some holes on defense.
Yeah. And there's nothing like wrong with that. Obviously you take a guy that early for the long term. And I don't think there was anybody in that organization, at least I would hope not, that thought they were in like a win now mode.
Right.
And the free agency would indicate that they're not. Like they didn't go out trying to sign everybody under the sun. So I think you give A-Rich the chance to build chemistry with all the guys he didn't get to play with. And you take it week to week and hope that you see improvement. Obviously, these first 2 weeks on paper, just looking at numbers, week 1 was better in terms of obviously like Alec Pierce had a huge game. He found him deep. His deep ball potential is great. This week it just didn't hit. So yeah. And in that division, obviously we had the Texans as the number 1 anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
Jags.
I'm so much on the fence between ass and mid.
Same, because they could and should be better, but every week I say that they don't deliver. So I feel like you should just put them right next to the Colts because I have no confidence in, like, anytime I look at their schedule, I genuinely do not have confidence in their ability to win. Jalen Hurts is running rampant. Fuck yes. Sorry. 4th and 3, and he just ran like 25 yards.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, huge run. I was waiting for a damn flag, and I don't think it's coming. Oh, no, there it is. Sorry, I jinxed it. There's going to be holding on the Eagles, and we're going to have to fucking kick. Oh, after the play.
Oh, if it's after somebody taunted or something, then.
If it's after, then I don't even give a shit because I think we still get the first down.
I'm just curious what it would be because it's not like Jalen Hurts taunted anybody. I don't really know what else it would be.
Are we joking? The ball went right to the middle of the field. The game wasn't delayed. It was expedited, motherfucker. That's so stupid. Anyway.
It's called delay of game?
They called delay of game on his spike after like the celebration for getting the first down. Even though the ball went right to the middle of the field where the goddamn referee would be to pick it up and place it. Stupid as shit.
Oh, wow.
I swear to God, they just added a bunch of dumb rules to allow the refs to talk more in every game.
That's so stupid.
Did you watch any of the game last night? The Bears Texans?
Only a tiny bit before I passed out hard last night.
Bro, there were like 11 penalties in the third quarter. 11.
Dude, I'm sick. I feel like there's way more penalties this year, like to start this year, than there has been in the last like 4 or 5 years.
No, I think it's just it's like obvious too. They like added rules that don't actually matter, and then they're calling everything like it's goddamn Brazilian soccer. It's just oh boy. Yikes. Who are we on? The Chiefs? All right. I don't think you put the Chiefs anywhere but Super Bowl contender ever, as long as Patrick Mahomes is living and breathing.
And to be honest, I find it pretty crazy that like I'm looking at their schedule, and like usually the Super Bowl winners have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
And to be honest, their schedule does not look tough.
But they're they'll get Houston, they'll get they'll get Buffalo, and then they'll get they'll play and they'll get the but they already played the Ravens, so it's like they already beat one of the number ones. So it's like I agree with you. But it is a case, I think, of they are as good as they are. So a lot of times you look at their schedule and it won't look tough because they can't play against themselves. And
true. But I will just say, like, their first 2 games were at home. So they played the Ravens, the Bengals at home. They beat the Bengals because of bullshit. And now the 2 away games to make up for the 2 home games are at Atlanta and at the Chargers.
The Chargers will give them trouble. Atlanta won't. I think the Chargers will give them some trouble, but because the Chargers are an interesting one. I'm glad they're next because we can actually kind of tie these two into with each other.
True.
The Chargers are 2-0. And first down, Jalen Hurts again. This dude is a unit. 3rd and 11, and he gets that with his legs. I love it. I think he knows he's going to need to put in effort. I just really don't want to see this dude get hurt.
I know.
So
I definitely understand that.
The thing with the Chiefs, we know what they are because Patrick Mahomes can, besides Kadarius Toney, he can make any receiver look decent. Toney just has no hands, so it's not possible. I'm not mad at that throw. Be on the fucking defense. That throw was fine because it was right at people, but low enough it was not a risk.
Yeah.
So that's a good grounding. But the way I think of the Chiefs, obviously, Xavier Worthy didn't get targeted very much in this game, which is very surprising. Rashee Rice is a solid player. We thought in the offseason he was going to have troubles that kept him off the field. Go fuck yourself. Ineligible man downfield. He went more than 2 feet past the line of scrimmage because he won his block. So fucking stupid.
I hate that rule.
I'm sorry. It makes no sense to me. You could just be a defensive lineman and just not push, and the guy just pancakes you, but he's downfield now. Stupidest rule. The Chiefs' run game is going to be the question mark until Pacheco comes back. That's where we're going to be looking
6
to
to 8
see.
weeks is a lot.
It is, and that's where we're going to be looking. But that's why I think, as we go forward, the Chargers do pose some viable threat because thus far, despite all the changes to that team, they're looking pretty good. And I'm going to put Chargers a playoff team right now. I really do think Herbert is looking real confident. He was running the ball like he was fearless as hell this past week. And I don't care who they're playing. He was putting it on the line. So, and my man J.K. Dobbins coming off an Achilles injury. I don't know if anybody would believe he had an Achilles injury the way he's running right now.
I love seeing J.K. Dobbins ball out. I loved him as a
touchdown, Devontae Smith.
Hey,
let's go! Nice pass into triple coverage, and he just put it right where it needed to be. Love that. Sorry.
I loved J.K. Dobbins as a Raven. He just never could stay healthy. And that was that was the biggest knock on J.K. Dobbins. And I hope he finally stays healthy this year just so he can show people like what he actually can do. But But that brings us to the Rams. I'm putting them in S because in week 1, they didn't look bad. They only lost to the Lions by 6. They lost in overtime. I think it was right. Was it overtime or right before?
It was overtime. It was overtime.
Yeah. And then they came out against the Cardinals after Puka got hurt in week 1. Cooper Kupp gets hurt in week 2. They get absolutely demolished by the Cardinals. Yeah. And now they got to go play the 49ers.
They traded their defensive captain away, one of them.
Right.
Just recently. So, but I'm agreeing with you 100%. And the truth is, if we put them in super ass, I don't know if I'd be that mad. And it's not even a knock on who they have on their team. It's just the fact of injuries.
Yes.
Like their whole offense is just gutted. I mean, we're talking 30 targets a game kind of loss. Like it's unbelievable. And it's a huge shame.
Their starting tight end is still on PUP. Tyler Higbee hasn't played a single game yet.
But that's what I mean. It's like you literally, you're going to target him at least 5 times a game. You're targeting Kupp at least 15, and you're probably targeting Nakua at least 11, 12. So you're losing all that. And I love Matt Stafford, but there's no way you compete against the other teams in the league in this situation right now. And it is, especially that division, like you just said, you have to play San Fran, who's coming off a loss. And they're going to need to prove, and San Fran needs to prove some shit too, because they have injuries too. I don't know what Kittle's deal is. I would like to know Kittle injury.
But yeah, I mean, Debo's out for at least like 2 to 3 weeks. McCaffrey's out for at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, so, minimum 4, and I think they think it's going to be at least 6. Yeah. So,
and I will say though, Jordan Mason has filled in admirably so far.
That dude looks really fucking good. That dude could be a starter in probably like 12 teams in the league right now, to be honest.
Exactly.
His vision's great. His strength is great. His burst is solid. He has good hands. And of course the Niners have a guy like that as a backup. Of course they do.
Exactly. He's technically the 3rd string.
I know. And I hate it. Because it was Elijah Mitchell's out. So it's like they're getting wrecked with injuries too. But
my main thing to look for the 49ers, we're not even talking about them right now, but this is Brandon Ayuk's time to nut up or shut up.
And, all he's done so far is shut up, to be honest.
Exactly.
I haven't heard anything good about him. He hasn't been a factor in
either of these games. He dropped a touchdown in week 1.
Yeah. He's been a negative for his team thus far. And it's just, this is one of those situations like, I look at the Bengals, right? I will go back to the Bengals because similar deal with star players' contract disputes this offseason.
Right.
They were probably the 2 in the biggest spotlight. So, obviously, T. Higgins wanted a contract. They didn't get it. He franchise tagged him, and he took it like a grown-up, like an adult. And he's, you know what I mean? Like, he all power to him. Chase didn't get his contract, played week 1, looked better in week 2. Same deal. Like, they'll get theirs when it happens. And obviously, Chase can feel a little slighted because I think what he's provided to the Bengals has been franchise-altering. Like, you would agree. I think literally without him, they're not in a Super Bowl against the Rams a few years back. Like, it's just different.
Right.
Yes, I could say the same about Trent Williams. Like, when you're that good of a tackle, that's special and you deserve money. Ayuk has, in my opinion, Ayuk's only had 1 year where he jumped off the page, and then he was already pulling all this diva shit, and then now he finally gets paid, and he just looks like shit. So I'm like, okay, dude, like, is that that's what it was for? You get your money and you get to just show up and not do anything. Like,
right.
I hate the Niners, so it's great. Like, I'm all for them having internal discord. I don't want to see them have injuries though. You and I agree on that always. Doesn't matter how much you hate a team. Seeing the guys get hurt is just not. It's just not it. So, we'll talk about the other Bay Area team, former Bay Area team, but obviously everybody knows
at this rate,
the Raiders.
You just want to put, where are we putting San Fran? Playoff team?
I'm putting them mid right at this moment because we need to see how they do over these weeks with the injuries. Obviously, if they look good next week, even with the injuries, we can just move them up without hesitating. I'd be totally fine with that. And I'd say honestly, put the Raiders right next to them right now.
Yep. That's where I would put them as well.
Because they're another team. Like, Gardner Minshew's number one trait as a quarterback in the NFL is that his completion percentage is always solid. And given what he has to work with at the moment in Devontae Adams and obviously Brock Bowers is looking as advertised. So I'm going to put them at mid right now because I think they are going to win some games this year. Bowers had 9 targets. He caught all 9. I mean, literally, and not all of them were easy. He had to work for some of them, and he just made it look easy. So
he's looked very good.
Their defense is playing aggressive as the Raiders of old, and I am fucking here for it. So, yeah.
In terms of Miami, with Tua out, I am tempted to put them at ass.
Put it, please. Can you do me a favor? Can you move them down, please?
Super ass.
Yeah. Do we really? What is his name? Skylar Thompson? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yep.
He will not win a game. He will not win a game. I don't care.
I forget who. I think it might have been Miami. They brought in my boy Tyler
Huntley.
And my bet is if Tua isn't back in the next 2 to 3 games, Tyler Huntley takes over by the second week.
Okay. If that happens and they look good, we'll move them up.
Yeah.
But for right now, I just am imagining that it's I'm imagining Tyreek shaking his head on the sideline because every single ball thrown his way was nowhere near him.
Exactly.
That's what it's just oh my God, Bijan is just nope, flag. Be holding. Be holding. Please, I beg
holding
you.
On Kirk Cousins.
I would love that. That would be the greatest thing.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, I'm putting them at least in one of the 2 ass categories because Skylar Thompson puts them there. And it is, what did they call?
They're getting there. They're getting there. Eventually. Fuck you.
What did he say? I'd had it on mute.
He said, no, there's no foul. The entire team moved back because they knew it was going to be a fucking hold, and then they didn't call a hold. The Falcons themselves moved themselves back because they knew it was a goddamn hold, and then the refs decided it wasn't.
Yikes.
Dumb as shit, bro.
Anyway, yeah,
Minnesota.
I would put them there too. Minnesota, I feel like I'm going to put them in mid.
Yep.
I'm not putting them at a playoff team yet. They're one of the teams I'm not going to get too overly excited about. But
we got him.
Darnold.
Let's go,
Sam
BG.
Darnold
and there's a flag
actually, again. Of course there's a flag.
Jesus Christ.
Sam Darnold is actually looking serviceable.
I agree. And not even serviceable.
Contact? Is that what they just said?
Brother, I'm actually going to be so fucking pissed off. They don't call a holding, and then they call this shit on a sack. Fuck you, man.
No, that's stupid.
Bro, he did nothing. This is a joke.
I mean, the receiver pushed him just as much as...
Yeah, Drake London initiates contact with his hand, extends his hand, which is offensive pass interference, and then they call... Okay. Oh, well, that's roughing the passer, actually, if we're going to be real. He hit him in the face mask.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, I thought Maddox pulled off a crazy interception there for a second.
Oh, I'm behind you. Let me see what happens.
Yeah, I thought he snagged
good
that.
PBU. So with Minnesota, obviously, although he stayed in the game or in post game, Jefferson said my quad's not going to be an issue. To even tweak that part of your leg a little bit, you need to watch that. And then Addison's been out. So you do have you have a bit of injury concern.
Hawkinson's still out.
That too, and that's a huge deal. He's an absolute unit of a tight end. So, you look at Darnold, and we've seen his body of work in previous years with other teams. We cannot overhype ourselves because of 2 games. The San Fran win is giant. Let's keep it crystal clear. That's a massive win.
Oh yeah.
But you gotta keep winning. So we'll wait on them to see what they really are after enough games. But brother, there has been a flag on every fucking play this drive.
I just can't stand these.
We literally were talking about it already, and it is just, this is obnoxious as hell. I don't understand what football is becoming. Of course, Gardner Johnson pulls his. Oh, McLeod threw a punch.
Oh,
it's all McLeod then. All right, cool. I'll take that.
That makes sense, though.
I mean, unless they're going to literally discuss this and say, oh, no, there's actually fouls on both teams, which I bet is coming.
Nope.
No, turn your mic on. We want to play football.
I saw it. It's just McLeod.
Thank you.
Patriots, I'm putting an ass.
Yeah.
While they got to win in week 1, their offense just is so volatile, especially when you keep going. I like Jacoby Brissett, especially as a backup quarterback. Yeah. But at this rate, just throw Drake May in. Why are we delaying the inevitable?
But I agree. Like, there's a lot of times where you look at rookie QBs and you say, don't throw them into the fire too early.
Right.
I think where the Patriots are, you just put them in. You're not, it's not like a risk. He looked solid-ish in preseason, enough that I think you could be like, yes, he can play and he won't just do something stupid to get hurt. Like, you're not risking it. If you're not risking his health, play him. And it's I agree with you. I like Brissett. His skill set is so different. It's not like he's going to mentor Drake May. It's
exactly.
That's the issue I have. It's like if you had one of these, like, the stylistically a similar guy in right now as the rookie you drafted, then it's like, yeah, no, let him learn.
Or if it's like a Hall of Fame guy.
Exactly. Like, if this is not a Garoppolo behind Brady situation for them up there, like, you could just throw him in and let him learn the real way. Like, play against NFL defenders who are not trying to make the team, that have been on the team for years and earned contracts. Like, this is how this guy's going to get, like, battle hardened. And obviously in that division, you need to get there, like, quick. So I agree. Yep. They'll be an ass for the foreseeable future. At the moment, 100% playoff team. If I see two more wins, if I see 2 more wins like that, we're moving them up. And it's really unfortunate.
If they score 30 or more points in the next 2 games, they're absolutely Super Bowl contenders.
Well, you know who they play next week, right?
Who?
Philadelphia.
Oh, God.
And I think it's in fucking Nolans. So I think the Eagles might be in big trouble, especially since Brown said he's going to miss multiple weeks. So I think that's going to be ugly. But
that could be a crazy one.
I think the Saints might be really damn good.
I love them as a surprise offensive firepower type of team. Nobody saw this coming.
What I said when I was at work yesterday, because a lot of us at where I work are like, we bet a lot. We're diehard football fans, like, whatever. Alvin Kamara is healthy fully healthy for the first time in a few years.
True.
And everybody wants to forget he was Christian McCaffrey before Christian McCaffrey. Period. Like, the guy that jumped off the page is the dude who could do everything at running back. Like, and was used that way from day one. And then you look at, like, they have so many gadgets. Like, Taysom Hill does everything. Rashid Shaheed looks insane. Yep. And then you still have Chris Olave. And it's like, and Derek Carr is not making stupid throws. They bolstered their offensive line so he has more time to make intelligent throws. And it's very obvious that that's why this is working so far and so well. And their defense is not giving up easy shit. They are making every drive and, like, require effort. So they're a team that could definitely move up. So
they have a top 10 secondary in the entire league. So, like, that combined with the fact that the offense is actually making plays, yeah, that's humongous.
Yeah, they're a team that, as if you were a regular viewer of this podcast, which we would love it if you are, we would appreciate you immensely if you are. you could see the Saints move up. Obviously, the Eagles next week. I know I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a homer, whatever. The Eagles are a good team. I'm not going to call them great yet. I'm not a delusional Philly fan, but that will be another test for the Saints, the same way the Cowboys was, and they passed the Cowboys test with flying colors. So, yeah, we will see.
I think we both agree that Giants belong in super ass.
Daniel Jones' contract is the worst contract in NFL history, and we now can move on to your regular scheduled programming. Holy shit.
So that brings us to the Jets.
They are if we had a between mid to ass, we could put them there, but we'll put mid because they won a game at least. And
I'm going to put them mid because their defense is solid.
Yeah. I think
and a lot of this depends on
Breece Hall's an animal. Breece Hall's an animal.
Yeah.
Offensively, like Breece Hall is not going to be a problem if he's healthy. If he's staying on the field and he's healthy, he'll do what he's got to do. This, like you literally just said, it is the Aaron Rodgers thing. He did yet another game. His yardage was really low. Granted, Tennessee secondary loaded. I get it. That was going to be a tough game. That's why you and I were not in agreement on our picks for that game. So, I took defense was going to make it happen. You took Rodgers to get his first win. It was a 7-point game, 1 possession. The Jets have a lot to prove. Rodgers has now gotten through 2 full games, which is great. Oh, that's a face mask. All right, well, half a distance to the goal, automatic first down. Fuck. I'm not even mad at BG for that. It was just a timing thing.
Yeah, that was kind of the only thing he could get his hand on.
He like swung around just to reach at him, and it just where his hand was, it was just like instantaneous. It is what it is.
Yeah,
that's all right. Steelers are also mid. I think the whole AFC North is mid until one of them stands out and proves it.
That's what I was going to do. If the Steelers offense actually looked good in these 2 games, they'd be a playoff team easily because the defense has looked fucking outstanding.
Amazing. Like top 2, top 3 defense. And you don't even need to look at stats. You just watch the games and you see where the players are. Like
exactly.
Their positioning's perfect. Their pass rush is amazing. Like no one really gets caught out. Like obviously we'll need to see them play one of these teams with enough weapons to make threats, but at the moment, they could probably score 20 points a game and win most of them. Like their defense doesn't seem like it's going to let them down. So
first real test will be week 5 against Dallas. I mean, they do play the Chargers this week.
See, that I think is their first real. That's their first real test to me.
My only thing is, say the Steelers win or lose this game. The Chargers to me are also still kind of waiting for a real test. Like they've looked better, but their offense is still shaky. They could just go back to scoring 6 points pretty quickly.
The Raiders game was a good showing,
right,
for them. But it's week 1, so you have to. I always take week 1s with a grain of salt. So I agree. This is the first. They're both of their first tests, equally, where they're so.
It's pretty crazy because looking at
nice.
The Steelers' next, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. I could realistically see them winning 5 of them out of the next 7 games, which would mean they'd be 7-2.
Yeah.
Because they're home against the Chargers, then they're at the Colts, then they're home against the Cowboys, then at the Raiders, then home against the Jets, home against the Giants, and at the Commanders.
Yeah, the Giants Commanders should be 2 wins for them.
And the Colts, I can see a win.
But they have the right home games. You know what I mean? It's the fact that it's the Chargers in Pittsburgh. That's big. And yeah, I agree.
And the Cowboys.
Yeah.
and the Raiders, even though it's at Las Vegas, I think that game's pretty much a toss up.
I would agree. Because it is literally going to be a question of which offense can break through too deep, the defenses, which are playing tough. And
right.
Yeah, that'll be a big game for Adams and Bowers to really step up because they're gonna need to.
And then like they don't even play their first.
Good Lord, Kirk.
They don't even play their first division game until week 11, which is home against the Ravens. So
wait, so they literally play all 6 divisional games in the last 7 weeks?
Yep.
That's an insanely weird schedule. What the hell's that about?
Literally, they play 4 division games in a row. It's starting at week 11. It's home against Baltimore, at Cleveland, at Cincinnati, home against Cleveland.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's really strange, but I mean, yeah, I agree with you. They're mid until further notice. Let's say.
Seahawks.
I'm gonna put playoff team.
Playoff team.
I am.
I have them at mid.
Okay.
I'm looking at the other teams we have left, and if that's the case, I guess because right now we have 7 teams in playoff 8 teams in playoff and Super Bowl contenders. So, I mean, not that we have to have.
Yeah, we don't have to have it be exact. We've given reasoning for why we have teams where they are. Obviously, we're going to move them. So,
in my head, I have them at mid just because the offense has a tendency to completely disappear at any given moment, which shouldn't be the case because they have one of the best receiver cores in the entire fucking league.
But that's where I was surprised this week is they had no running game available because Kenneth Walker was out.
Right.
And then the receivers went berserk.
And Charbonnet still had a decent game.
Yeah. But I mean, you had 200 plus receivers. Like it literally, I agree. It does come down to like what their offense is doing.
For now, we'll put them in a playoff team. Or wait. Are they're 1-1, right?
Did they lose week 1?
Let me check.
They probably
no, they beat the Broncos 26-20 and then beat the Patriots 23-20. Yeah, we can leave them at playoff team for now.
They love giving up 20 points.
Apparently.
That's
I mean, as long as they keep scoring more than 20.
Exactly. See how long that lasts, but yeah.
Tampa Bay, I want to put playoff team.
Yeah. It's same deal, but even this is, you know what, you may convince me to move Seattle out because of like they're 2 teams with receiving cores that are good, right?
Right.
We agree on that. The one thing that the Bucs issue is I think Rachaad White got hurt, so that's not good. But
true.
Kenneth Walker's hurt too. So who do you take over which? I would take Baker over Geno if I was building a team, I think.
I would too.
So in that sense, yeah, I mean, I think we can move Seattle to mid. Yeah, I think we could do that because like they're like really similar teams in a lot of ways in terms of like how they approach a game and then what they just have as a roster. And I think Tampa Bay would win that face to face right now.
I agree. And Tampa Bay's win over Detroit was a very nice win for them.
Agreed. So yeah, I you know what, I could feel confident with that.
I'm putting Tennessee at ass
because Will Levis sucks.
Exactly.
Because otherwise they would be winning games.
Exactly. That like if you still had Tannehill right now, you'd probably be winning games.
They'd probably be 2-0.
Most likely. Because like Pollard has been decent. You have Calvin Ridley, Hopkins, Chig, like
Tajay Spears.
You got some weapons there on offense too.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd is your wide receiver 3.
Their defense has pro bowlers. Like they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I completely agree at the moment. I mean, it's like they have no business being 0-2, but they are. And until that's fair. They won a game with 7 field goals. Although that is impressive, it was over the Giants.
Who are Giants, also super ass.
as we saw, the Giants, the first team to score 3 touchdowns in a regulation game while giving up none to lose. That is remarkably pathetic, and only something that the Giants under Brian Daboll could achieve. I am still angry that fucking bald idiot won Coach of the Year over Nick Sirianni when Sirianni went to a fucking Super Bowl. Makes no sense, but here we are. So,
yep. And for those that might not be watching the video, we put Washington at super ass along with the Giants.
Yeah.
I think they will move up to at least ass because Jaden Daniels will get better. But for now, I'm putting him down there.
Because Jaden Daniels hasn't looked bad yet. Like he's played like he's had good awareness. He's made the right scrambles. He hasn't made any like atrocious throws just straight to a defender yet. So as far as he's concerned, I'm fine with how he's performed given the team he's on. I thought they would be a little better than they are, but obviously it's his first 2 games as a pro. They have to build to success, and I think he will get there.
I agree.
The Falcons.
So now we're at the 2 Monday night teams. So we're kind of grading them on a game and a half because right now we hit halftime. Eagles are up 7-6.
I'll grade the Falcons on this first half.
Okay.
They need to be put in ass, and I'll give you just the main reason immediately. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
So the third down on their 3rd and goal to end the half, I swear to you, he tried to throw to a human being, and it was caught by a fan in the first row, and that first row is elevated like it is a Lambo kind of wall. He missed him by a mile. On the 1st and goal, he tried a quick little pylon route, missed him by like 5 yards. He's just not playing well. Bijan looking like Bijan, and Algier also looking good. Like, their run game is not going to be an issue, but the passing game needs to change. Obviously, like, second half might go way differently, and we'll see.
And there was a lot of high expectations for this team because they finally got a quarterback that's not named Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, or Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. So, like, for literally the moment this point in time that we are in as human beings alive today, the Falcons are in ass because they are not even close to touching the potential we thought they had. The Eagles have to be in playoff teams just logically if the Packers are, because they defeated them, in my opinion. But we can put them in mid because AJ Brown's missing games. And
that's what I was going to say.
That is ungood.
I would
obviously he's a top. I would almost put him as a top 3 receiver in the NFL, based on how he does versus certain coverages. He's the number 1 receiver against single coverage in the entire league. But you're missing a guy like that. Obviously, the Eagles have only put up 7 points in this first half. It is halftime now. That half breezed by.
Yeah.
The Eagles' offense did not look the same whatsoever. That said, the scoring drive looked a lot better, mainly on Hurts' legs. He has 52 rushing yards at half. 2 of those big rushes on really crucial downs. Like, obviously, you cannot rely on your QB to get those big gainers every time you need it.
Right.
So the absence of AJ Brown is going to be a massive deal for the Eagles. They will obviously need to work a lot harder to game plan and win games without him. So for now, I even as an Eagles fan, mid is exactly where they belong.
Yep. My main thing is that's the exact reason why I was going to put them there is because AJ Brown's going to be out for a little bit of time now. And even though he's not inefficient so far, Saquon only has 37 yards right now. And I thought that they would lean on it a little bit more, and he would look a little bit better, especially with AJ Brown out, because they're going to need him. But then outside of him, you get to Devontae Smith, who has their lone touchdown at the moment, 3 receptions, 30 yards, 4 targets. Outside of him getting the most targets, you're like at Grant Calcaterra, who has 19 yards. Dallas Goedert only has 1 catch so far. Jahan Dotson only has 1 catch. Obviously, Dotson joined the team late, but you're going to have to see him step up and do something here if you're going to stay afloat. And especially, I want to see Dallas Goedert step up and do what we all know he can do. We have seen him put together big games as a tight end. So you got to do it now. AJ Brown's out. Like, someone's got to step up.
My worry for Goddard is AJ. A lot of the targets AJ gets are over the middle, which obviously on those sort of routes where AJ is going across the middle, Goddard is therefore more open because the defenders in that area are going to favor defending AJ. So now that they don't have to focus on AJ, Goddard is going to have a lot tougher of a time. Like, 2 tight end sets would maybe give him a better chance, but at the same time, like, and credit to the Falcons, because the first bit of Saquon, his first 4 rushes, he had 38 yards, and then they started keying on him a little bit better. And maybe just reading the plays, the alignment of the offense and predicting, it's probably a run.
Right.
And that's how the game goes. So, I mean, like, they've done a good job. Because, like, we obviously Devontae's Pro Bowl caliber, Saquon is also, like, they're still weapons. It's just when you have that duo of AJ and Devontae, it's so much harder to deal with because you don't have enough number 1 defenders for all that.
Right.
So yeah.
So that being said, that concludes our power rankings. We will post those on our YouTube community page and also on our Twitter. So make sure to check those out. With that being said, we've gone pretty far along. So I don't have that much time, but I just the only game I want to touch on for college football is obvious to those that have listened to this. Go fuck yourselves, West Virginia. Suck a dick. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. Hail to Pitt. Eli Holstein, 3 ACC Rookie of the Weeks in a row. That man is a dog. And it is nice finally having a quarterback that can capably run an offense. And it's the people who watch NFL will know that it's pretty sad that the last time that happened was Kenny Pickett, who cannot run an NFL offense. So, yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. I don't know if there's any games you wanted to bring up real quick.
There were some good games this week. I'll bring up the scoreboard, and I'll just touch on a couple, and then we'll do our little grid thing that we've been doing.
We can do a lightning round of our picks. The week 3.
Yeah. Oh, lightning round, easy as fuck.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to week 3 college because ESPN's a slow piece of shit. So I remember there were a couple games I have to just see them because literally my brain was. I watched so much football this weekend; it was obnoxious. Is it Arkansas? No. Oh God, LSU South Carolina. That was a phenomenal game.
Oh,
36-33. If South Carolina's quarterback did not go down, I do believe they would have won that game pretty handily. That is a really unfortunate situation. Florida State is as dog shit as we thought. Memphis goes into Tallahassee and just shits on their soul again. Which I'm sorry, I love that. It makes me happy. Let's see what else. Washington State defeats Washington in Washington. That's a big win for them. Massive win for them and that program. Georgia Tech gets back in their winning ways. They dropped 60 points this week. I know they didn't play anybody important, but they're mad they lost the game. We'll see how the rest of their season plays out. Let me see if there's any other standouts as I get to the later games.
Probably
I know there was
not.
Colorado State.
That game was so boring it hurt my soul.
Yeah.
We wanted that to be a rivalry. It was one-sided in the second half. Georgia State beat Vanderbilt. That is another upset this week.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Vanderbilt
was one of the ones you were looking for too.
Yeah, because they'd been playing really well. They scored 22 points in that fourth quarter. If they had had that offense all game, they would have run away with it, but too little too late. And Georgia State beats them. So, yeah, I think that's about... UCF's massive comeback. That was my game. That's my game of the week. UCF was down 28 to like... They were down like 28 to fucking 7 at TCU and came back and won that game. Their quarterback threw for... So their QB had 402 yards, 4 TDs, no picks. Their lead running back had 29 carries for 180 and 2 touchdowns. They just... Yeah, just insane.
Good Lord.
Awesome game. So yeah, that's definitely my game of the week. That game was amazing to watch. Matchups this coming week, I have no idea who plays this coming week. I'm going to keep it honest. Illinois, Nebraska, because they're close in rank, 24-22. USC is at Michigan. Big test for Michigan. Obviously, like, we know they are not going to be the same, and USC so far has looked a step up because their defense actually knows how to play,
right?
Potentially. But this will be their first big test. Utah, Oklahoma State, 12 versus 14. That should be great. Miami, USF, because it's at USF. That will be an interesting game, potentially. Miami, I think, should blow them out because Miami has looked really, really good.
Right.
Tennessee, Oklahoma. Yeah, we're getting into the part of college football we all love. There's some matchups that actually feel correct. It's not just schools.
Friday night game looked decent too. Did you already say that? Illinois versus Nebraska?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like you got the Friday, there's 3 Friday games across college football. Stanford, Syracuse, Illinois, Nebraska, San Jose State, Washington State. That last one is 3-0 versus 3-0. So that could be fun. Yeah, there's some good games. It's college football though. That's why we love it, because any one of these could go sideways.
And for my Pitt people out there, we play Youngstown State. So should get a W there. Youngstown State's only 1-2 this year. Usually they're like decent for like a lower level school, but yeah, they're 1-2. I haven't really read much about them, but should be a win.
Yeah. Georgia Tech plays Louisville. Louisville, obviously, Louisville's 10-point favorites in that. We shall see. It's a little weird to me that Georgia Tech has played 4 games and Louisville's played 2. Like, that irks me a little bit.
Yeah, that is weird.
Arkansas goes into Auburn, and that game's basically even as far as the money line is concerned. Auburn's 3-point favorites, but you get 3 points for being home. That should be that should pretend, like, on paper, good game right there. Arizona State, Texas Tech, another 3-point. Should be a good game. Yeah, this should be a good week. TCU, SMU, hell yeah. That'll be fun.
That's a good one.
Yeah, another good week. Obviously, we'll touch on it, the results next week. Yep. I will share. You're going to share our picks?
Yep, I'll bring up the week 3 picks. If I can hit the correct button, there we go. And
Sirianni's doing an interview and Big Dom is just pacing behind him. I love it. It's just like, it's hilarious. All right, Falcons start this half with the rock. Really low throw by Cousins, but nice catch by Bijan.
All right, so we got the Thursday night game of week 3 for New England at the Jets.
I'll take the Jets only because it's in New York.
Probably gonna say the same.
But is this was the Jets' first game of the year, or road or home?
Their first game of the year was... That's a good question. I want to say it was on the road. They played San Fran, right?
Yeah, I think it was in San Fran. So
I think it was in San Fran.
This is Rodgers' first game back at MetLife. So
I think so.
We shall see. That stadium has a way of ruining careers, so
that is true. And it's a division game. Should be interesting, but yeah, especially with Jawan Bentley out for the season, he's a big part of that defense.
Yeah.
I have the Jets. Eagles at the Saints.
I have the New Orleans Saints.
I was gonna say, I think I'm riding the Saints train. I think I gotta do it.
I just know AJ and what the Saints have done, and this is a home game for the Saints. I don't see how the Eagles go in there and win that. Especially what I'm seeing tonight. Bijan is eating this defense alive. He's got like 100 yards rushing and probably, I'll say, 40 cat receiving now. And we're 2 minutes into the third.
Oh, yeah.
And Kamara is better than him when healthy at the moment based on usage. Like, this is the first game I've seen the Falcons use Bijan correctly. And he is eating. And that's really annoying for me as an Eagles fan. But I'll be a realist. The Saints look and seem much scarier than Philly does right now. So
their offenses have been like on fire is an understatement.
All right. Bijan has 12 rushes for 96. That's 8 yards a carry and 30 yards receiving. And then Algier just ran for 11. Like this is getting ugly. They're just tiring the defense out real bad.
Uh-oh. That's bad.
Yeah.
This next game, Giants at Cleveland, I think we're both going to go Browns on this one. I just don't think.
And it's in Cleveland, yeah.
There's just no world where I picked the Giants in week 1 because I was like, you know what, new team. Well, not new team, but like Daniel Jones is back, and you get Malik Neighbors. Like maybe they get a win, but I'm not. I don't think I'm ever going to pick them anytime.
We picked the Giants week 1 because we saw Sam Darnold with the Vikings, and we had no idea what that was going to be. It wasn't even like a knock at Sam Darnold. It was just like we don't know.
True.
Because, and then it became really obvious, like 28-6. The Giants just look abysmal. Like,
oh yeah.
Yes, they found the end zone 3 times against Washington. They still fucking lost. Only field goals. Like they literally they suck. So.
Yep.
Oh, there's a pitch to Algier. He's got a lane. Sorry.
That brings us to Green Bay at Tennessee. Malik Willis revenge game.
You know what?
I'm going Green Bay because I want to see Malik Willis.
Yes, I do.
I gotta see it.
I have to do it with you just because of that. And if Jacobs does what he did this past week, they can still win games, man. He had 32 carries. I mean, just workhorse. Yeah, I got to do it. This next one I hate because both quarterbacks have been playing so bad.
Yep. This next one is Chicago at Indianapolis.
Ooh. Sorry, Kirk Cousins just got squished.
Oh, God. By who?
Oh, my. Milton Williams just absolutely obliterated him up the middle. Oh, my God. No, literally, like, got the 2-hand wrap on him and just drove him into the earth. Holy shit. Welcome back, Kirk. Welcome back. I know you didn't miss playing in Philly at all, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Chicago at Indianapolis is tough for me because obviously Chicago, their issues are well documented. We've all seen it. We all know it. But Chicago's defense, they have looked quite good. I mean, they held the Texans to only 1 touchdown. The rest were all field goals, obviously, but holding that offense to 1 touchdown isn't bad at all.
I think I'm gonna take Chicago.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna do it because Richardson, his completion percentage is just that's what scares me. It's like if you can't consistently connect on passes, I don't care if they're deep, short, whatever. And then you threw 3 picks, like that's a huge problem. And the Bears eked out a tough win in week 1. The defense carried him, but if you have a defense that can carry you against the guy who isn't throwing well, that's enough for me. And yeah, I know it's in Indy. They're not looking good. And I know the Bears don't look perfect either at all, but like you just said, that defense stood up real tall last night. So
yeah, they did. And I was gonna pick the Colts just so we finally break the ice here, but I just can't bring myself to take the Colts. So I'm also taking the Bears in this one.
I think our first different one might be Chargers Steelers. That might be our first.
It could be. So Houston at Minnesota is the next one. I'm assuming you're taking the Texans.
I'm thinking about
it. This one actually is also making me think too, but I'm going to go Houston just because we don't know about Jordan Addison. Justin Jefferson says he's going to be okay, but there's been a lot of times where the player says they'll be okay and then they don't play. Not saying that I expect him to not play, but it just worries me.
I'll go Houston because their secondary was flying like crazy last night.
Yeah.
And one little bitty mistake by Darnold is just going to result in big problems for them. So, and if Jefferson's not 100%, then yeah. Because that quad is one of those that, like, if you're letting it linger, you're just going to play like shit every game. So.
Agreed. So that takes us to the Chargers at the Steelers.
See, I'm assuming you're taking Pittsburgh.
I probably will, just because they're at home.
Because I'm going to take the Chargers here.
Okay.
I'm just going to, on a hunch that the Steelers will not be able to score enough.
I mean, that's a good thing to bet.
And I know their defense does a great job of keeping the scores low for their opposition, but, like, this is the first real QB they're going up against, for sure. And
yeah,
because Herbert, when you give this dude time, he's easily top 5. And what did they do? They drafted Joe Alt. I mean, that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
Is give this man the protection he deserves because they know how good he is. And Quentin Johnson finally had a game where he didn't drop everything. He caught 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, literally, like...
True.
And it's not Pittsburgh in the winter yet where it's freezing cold and a disaster for opposing like teams to come in. So yeah, I'll go Chargers.
I'm just going Steelers based off of the strength of their defense so far.
Yeah. And you and I both agree their defense is insane. I think it will literally be a game that ends like 12-9. Like it's just not going to be
probably
crazy. So
so that takes us to Denver at Tampa Bay.
Baker Mayfield.
Yep, that is who I was also going to go with.
This next one, just put the Raiders logo up there and we can just move on.
Yeah, Raiders are definitely beating Carolina.
Watch Andy Dalton throw 5 touchdowns.
I know, right?
Holy shit! The red rifle comes out, and just starts fucking sniping,
just torching everybody.
I'd be so mad, but I'd also be happy for him. But no, it's not happening.
So that brings us to Miami at Seattle.
I'll put a 3+ sacks for Max Crosby this week.
Oh yeah,
that'd
be a good one.
Seattle.
So my head is telling me Seattle. But my gut is saying Seattle likes to lose the games that they're supposed to win.
You're not wrong about that.
Skylar Thompson, I know is hard to bet on.
That's my thing. I know they have Tyreek Hill. I know they have Jalen Waddle. If the dude throwing the ball cannot put the ball where it needs to be, I don't care who your receivers are. So that's why I'm just like, I'm going to go Seattle because their receivers have been playing well with their quarterback who is not hurt. Yeah.
And Miami's defense doesn't look amazing, so. Devontae, stop running backwards. Anyway.
You convinced me to not go crazy on that pick and just take
Because that's just like, but it's like in the theme of what this week was. Like, that's a game that if Skylar Thompson just has a game, you know what I mean? Like, it could happen. But I just look at how Seattle played in New England, which is a tough place to play. I don't care what their team's like. That crowd's hostile as fuck. And they played well. So I know
Seattle's been giving up like 20 points a game, but their defense is still capable.
First down. Yeah. Oh, boy. All right, I'm going to let you give all your reasoning for this next game. That's what I'm going to do, because I think I know what my pick is already, and it's Baltimore, because there is no scenario in my head. I know it's Micah Parsons. I know your O-line's kind of hurting. Micah didn't find Derek Carr at all. And if Kamara could do what Kamara could do, like you said earlier, like Derrick Henry should have himself a day. And if you're the Ravens, you have to, like, this whole week needs to just be soul searching and understanding, like, we have to win a fucking game. And I know it's Dallas. This is going to be a tough place to play, but they just got sharded on.
True.
I think the Ravens win. I think it might be close, but I think the Ravens do win this game for you guys. I do.
I hope. My issue is, like I said, the O-line. The play calling has not been all that great. And so I don't Derrick Henry should have a huge game, but I just feel like the play calling isn't going to be there enough to allow him to have a huge game. And the defense,
that's my fear.
Yeah. And the defense has not played well in the big moments that they needed to.
That's fair.
And so
there's so many scenarios.
Right.
Like, it's a disaster because, like, Dallas is going to want to win because of what just happened to them, and they have to play in front of their own fans again and try and prove that that's not what they are. But then the Ravens, who've lost 2 close games that were winnable, like, they have to prove to them. Like, that's why this is a tough one, because we know they're good teams. Like, Dallas, despite the loss, like, we know they have players. But so do the Ravens. But it is a matter of if Derrick Henry gets under 20 carries, they probably lose. Exactly. And he hasn't had I don't think he's had over 20 yet. I think he only had 18 this past week. So, but this is a game where you really need to just go, like, we signed him for a reason. He is who he is. Let him be. Let him eat. Like, you gotta make it work. Like, you're in the toughest division in football.
Exactly.
To win the division. Like, it is easily the toughest, and they got to get it done.
If the Ravens lose this game, Harbaugh is firmly in the hot seat, because he's already been questioned about his playoff record ever since the
touchdown. No, Devontae. I said it before you. Yeah, I mean, it got kind of smacked, but like,
okay.
It's a play that I'm so used to him making. I was doing that stupid pre-celebrating bullshit. I want to see where the defender's hand, does he punch it? Oh, all right. It's Jesse Bates. Of course it was, you fucker. Where's your tiger stripes, asshole? Anyway. He right hooked the, like, you know, the rare occasion where a defender, like, truly right hooks a ball?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck is this? Yeah, just stop that. Jake Elliott just ran to the hash marks, and they had fucking Calcaterra directly under center. I don't even pretend. Yeah, I'll say the Ravens in a really, really tight game.
I'm picking Dallas. Sorry, go ahead. I'm picking Dallas because I just feel like I've seen this situation before with the Ravens, and it usually doesn't end well.
Okay. And I was going to say, like, you'd have way more inside info on the Ravens as far as just paying attention to them more.
Yeah, I'm just really confident.
Like, I look at Dallas more closely, obviously, because they're always like the team we as an Eagles fan, I circle that shit on the calendar because I'm like,
oh yeah,
that it matters. It means more. And they have the same, I feel like they have the same issue in a sense in McCarthy. Like Dallas fans don't want him there. Like they're already like, we don't want you here. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to pick the Ravens because I just think they're way too damn good of a team to go 0-3. I cannot envision that, but it is a toss. It's a bit of a toss up because it's in Dallas. So,
right. No, yeah. I agree.
See.
But with that being said, that takes us down to San Fran at the Rams.
The injury bowl. Good Lord.
Seriously, because with Debo gone, Christian McCaffrey gone.
I'm taking San Fran because as far as I know, their defense is not injured. And I don't fucking know who the hell Stafford's going to throw the ball to. But like with the Niners, they've already brought Mason off their bench and he's proved to be fine. So like they probably, and Jennings is still healthy and he's not a bad receiver. Ayuk's still there. I think the Niners.
I feel like I have to take the Niners in that regard. That brings us to Detroit at Arizona.
Arizona, please.
I think Arizona, and I picked Arizona every week so far. I have very high hopes for this team. However, I think Detroit's offense gets a little back on track in this game, and they put up some points. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah,
but I think I have Detroit winning this game.
Fair enough.
But I like Arizona a lot. That being said, Chiefs at the Falcons, I think we're both going to just go ahead and go Chiefs there.
Chiefs. I think the next three are probably the easiest that we were going to have, to be honest, besides the Giants one. Like, literally, it's just Buffalo.
Yeah, Jacksonville at Buffalo. My only hold up with Jacksonville at Buffalo is Jacksonville's still looking for their first win. And
this is, to me, it's just not the week to find it.
I don't think it is either, but I just think it's one of those games that like something stupid could happen.
That's fair. Well, I mean, based on what we've seen so far, I mean, we can't put it outside the realm of possibility.
Right.
But I look at Jacksonville and I'm just like, Brian Thomas is the only receiver that has looked good to me at all. And he's your rookie. And you have vets that are supposed to be the guys that are like really carrying, let's be honest. Like the rookie's not supposed to come in and be your leading receiver right away. Necessarily. I think BT is really good. But yeah, I think Buffalo just offers too many options, even after all the moves. Like they've looked fine at scoring points.
I think I'm going to take this as my fun pick. I think I'm taking Jacksonville.
Okay, I can't be mad at it. We this is why we do this. It's fun.
Yeah, especially because Washington at Cincinnati. I just can't. The only time I could take myself to pick Washington is when they played the Giants.
Yeah,
and I'm just rightfully not picking them against the Bengals, especially like the Bengals are going to be pissed.
Yeah, they had a game taken from them.
Yeah,
and to play that well in Arrowhead again and get fucked. I mean, yeah, there's no way. I'm sorry. Like, I refuse to believe the Bengals are going to lose both their first home games. They already lost to New England, which was unacceptable, and they know it. You're definitely not going to allow yourselves to lose to Washington because that's even worse, to be clear.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
1,000%.
It's got to be locked in. This week, obviously, I think the matchups, we have a lot more in common, but 4 different?
Yeah.
I think 4 total are different picks. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this week is really like there's heavy favorites this week.
Yeah, but it is literally like matchup dependent. Like we've agreed on like Even the Raiders beating the Ravens is not like, it's not like so shocking because we know what the Raiders defense is like. It's the fact that they were behind and came back. That's where the shock came in. That's where like there was some like surprises this week. But even just schedule wise, like this week seems a lot more clear cut.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy with those.
Cool. There's our week 3 picks.
I'll bring up this thing.
Good old Immaculate Gride.
Yeah, I switched the one that was up before because it had like Eagles and Bengals on it, and I was going to absolutely railroad it. So this one's a lot harder because it's all teams, no like category one.
Yeah. For those that might be listening and not watching, the top 3 from left to right are Patriots, Panthers, Browns, and then from top to bottom is Titans, Saints, Vikings.
And I just threw Adam Thielen in for Panthers, Vikings because it just came to my brain immediately. So the rest of these are tough, man, because a lot of these teams are not like worth following recently.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, and the Patriots, the problem with the Patriots too is a lot of their players didn't go anywhere else.
That's true.
Like,
I'm trying to think though. I feel like there's 2 people on the Titans that I remember playing for the Patriots in like the mid 2000s, early 2010s. But I can't think of like their names. Like I can think of their face, but I can't think of their name to save my life. Did Vrabel only coach?
I feel like he did only coach, and that's why I'm hesitant to do that.
Yeah. I'm not too positive on that one. Oh, I think.
Yeah, if you have any at any moment, please, by all means, just fire it at me.
Amari Cooper. I know he played
Raiders,
for the.
He went Raiders, Cowboys, Browns. That's his
career.
Okay.
It was just those 3 teams.
Yeah, that's his career path.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know why this one name is living rent free in my head. I don't think I'm right, but yeah. Titans
Josh,
because I feel like. Go ahead.
Josh Norman. Did he play for the Panthers? I know he played for Washington. Did he play for the Panthers?
Fuck. Touchdown Falcons.
Who scored?
Darnell Mooney.
Good old Mooney sitting on my bench.
42-yard TD.
Damn.
Yeah. And they're going for 2. So it'll be 17-10 if they get it. This is a tough one. I didn't pre-look at this. None of these are like jumping at me because all the like Patriots greats in my head didn't go anywhere that's on here.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to be like the backup or just the running backs and shit in my, like, I'm trying to think of like the Sony Michels and the, you know what I mean?
Right.
All right. They didn't get the 2 points. Tennessee, Cleveland, I feel like has one that I should fucking know.
I feel like there's a Saints Cleveland that I should know too. Saints. Oh, Vikings Patriots, wouldn't that be Randy Moss?
Oh, yeah, it's a freebie. Jesus Christ.
How did they not even have Randy Moss's picture?
Yeah, it's actually a really good question. What? Stop staring. Thank you. Saints Panthers, man. I feel like they have.
I feel like there's a running back there for Saints and Panthers, but I can't think of who it might be. Would Jameis Winston count for Saints Browns? He hasn't gotten into a game yet.
Should we just fucking try it? Because we're not 9ing for 9ing this.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, there it is. I was like, he hasn't gotten in a game, but he's suited up, so
he does in fact exist. As it turns out. I'm literally trying to think through like the slew of quarterbacks that have existed in the NFL for Vikings Browns, because that's literally, I'm sure, the easiest.
I mean, the Browns have had so many quarterbacks.
Oh, I got it. The name is here. You ready? Boop. Case Keenum. How you doing?
There you go.
He's played fucking everywhere.
That's true.
Patriots Saints, man, dude, that's the one that's killing me, because it's like, even thinking of old Saints, it's like Mark Ingram, no. D'Angelo Williams, I can't remember. Did he play for the Saints and the fucking Panthers? Because that would be really funny. I don't think he ever did. I think he went to the Steelers after he left Carolina. Yeah, okay, he did.
Yeah.
I was like 99. That was wrong, but I wanted to make sure. Running backs wise, I don't think it exists. Ricky Williams didn't. Reggie Bush did not. QBs, obviously, the Saints had Drew Brees from 2006 until fucking very recently.
Yeah.
Wait, did Andy Dalton play for the Saints? Am I tripping? Yes. Oh, then that's it. If Jameis counts, Andy should count. There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, Dalton was there last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait a minute. Titans, Panthers, bro. That is just. Oh, Calvin. No. He's Jaguars. I was picturing the other fucking cat head.
Yeah, I know.
Pain.
I saw where you were leading there, and I was like, I know where that's going.
Unfortunate.
What about no? Who the hell was the Browns running back before Nick Chubb? I know Kareem Hunt was there, but that's not who I'm thinking of.
They had a bunch that were just not great.
Yeah.
But they probably ended up somewhere like Tennessee. And it's pissing me off because I can picture all of them in my head, but I can't grab their names.
Damn, Peyton Hillis is not one.
It was a flag. Good play by the Eagles, so of course it's a flag.
Trying to think of, there's got to be a wide receiver that's in Saints Patriots.
But that's Brandon Cooks. Boop.
There it is. I was about to say, I was like, I know there's a wide receiver.
No, because he was drafted by the Saints, and then fucking Malcolm Jenkins murdered him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There it is. The Titans row, man, is the one that's fucking brutal, because it's like no one gives a shit about Tennessee.
Exactly. I barely remember who was on fucking Tennessee.
I'm thinking through all their stupid receivers they had. They had Kenny Britt. He might have been a Brown. Kenny Britt may have been a Brown. I'm investigating. I'm cheating. I don't care. Please count this. I beg you with all my fucking heart. Let's fucking go.
That's a good pull.
He played no games.
That is a great pull.
But he played, so it counts.
Tennessee.
Damn, I thought of one that's the Saints in Tennessee. Tennessee and the Panthers is the roughest one because literally who cares about either of those teams?
Exactly. And like it's going to be defenders and they're going to be people we probably know, and that's why I'm annoyed.
I know. Aziz Al-Share, he went to Houston. Oh, wait.
Pull one.
I don't know if this guy, I'm looking this up because I don't know if he's been at Tennessee this whole time or not. Ah, fuck, he's been on Tennessee the whole time. Never mind.
Okay. I'm gonna be fully honest. For the sake of my sanity, I looked up players that played for Tennessee and Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my god, I want to type this one if it would count it, but I don't think it will. So the easiest one I think for us would have been Deontay Foreman because he's still playing.
I forgot about Foreman. Completely forgot about Foreman.
But oh my god, Michael Orr, no way.
Really?
No shot. Yes. He played 11 games for the Titans in 2014, and then he went to the Panthers right after that. But the number one, the player that played the most games for both was Kerry Collins.
I haven't heard that name in I don't even know how long.
He was the inaugural quarterback for the Panthers when they were brought into the NFL, and then he ended his career with the Titans, as far as I remember, as a starter. He went, and I think he backed up Eli for a little bit in New York, but he played 4 years for the Panthers, 5 years for the Titans.
Oh, wow.
So that's, yeah, he's definitely the number one. Let me look up, I'm going to look up the Patriots Titans one, and I know it's going to piss me off because there's going to be a name on it that's going to be like big.
Don't tell me yet because there's one I'm.
Okay, I won't say anything then.
Doing on.
Okay. Ooh, yep. Oh, yep. Okay. Yep. I was right. Yep.
No, that's not the guy I was thinking of.
Oh my god. Do you want to laugh? Once you've decided to either guess one or not, I'll tell you one and you're just going to laugh. Because I totally forgot that this even happened, but
I'm just checking 2 more people that I thought of.
First down, Covey. Let's go. Hurts just extended that play by like 20 seconds and found Britton Covey for a first down on 3rd down. That's huge.
Love a good extended play.
No, he was running from like 3 guys. And I guess Covey made a cutback across the field to get open.
All right, checking my last person. Come on, load the stat page. There we go. Damn it. I thought I was going to get one with Kevin Falk.
All right, so there's 3 names that I can say that you'll go, oh yeah. So, Jason McCourty.
I looked at Devin McCourty.
You were on the right track. Albert Hainsworth.
Oh, wow.
Stop. Why did you leave the door open, dude? Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. I completely forgot about Matt Castle.
I saw his name. I was like, oh, but the one that the most recent of anybody is Jonnu Smith.
Oh, wow. That's obvious too.
Yep. But here's the surprise name, because I totally forgot this. In 2010, Randy Moss played for the Tennessee Titans.
For the whole year of 2010?
Not the whole year, but he played for the Titans. When which is just so funny to me. But I saw his name and was like, no shot. He played 8 games for the Titans in 2010. Only had 80 yards receiving. Just not a he was at the end. So there's some other funny ones too, though. I think I have to find it again. Steven Gostkowski, after being with the Patriots forever, went to the Titans.
I didn't know he went anywhere else.
I didn't either. I saw that Nick Folk, another kicker, went from the Patriots to the Titans.
I did know Nick Folk played for the Titans, but I completely forgot about that.
Algie Crumpler. Oh,
wow,
shit, dude. No,
that's a name.
Bro, I just saw them. I'm sorry. I just saw the one that should annoy me the most, because it was when I really jumped back into football, like, fully. Malcolm Butler.
Oh, that's a big one too.
That's a huge one, because he got a huge contract from the Titans and then did not live up to it at all.
See, if I saw Titans Falcons, I would have said Algie Crumpler, because I always think Algie Crumpler on the Falcons.
But I'll type his in. 0.8% guessed him. Not shocked at that at all. No. And then I think we agreed Kerry Collins for this. Yeah. So
damn,
that was a brutal one as far as the team lineups. I like this. I love this game.
Yeah.
I usually do the baseball one solo.
Oh yeah, I usually do the basketball one
or the hockey, because the hockey's always impossible, like impossible.
Yeah, hockey or tried women's basketball, and I usually get most of them, but that one is really hard because sometimes it pulls up names of like role players that played 3 games in their entire career, and I'm like, come on, I was 5 when that woman played.
Literally. You're like, if I had a brain that was developed enough to remember, I wouldn't have remembered. Like, it's not a body of work worth remembering.
Exactly.
So.
But all right, that is our episode for the week then.
Yeah, I will hit the stop sharing button. There we go.
Again, I will post our power rankings on the YouTube page and our Twitter. I'll post the week 2 results of our picks once this game is over, the Eagles versus Falcons. And then as the Thursday night game comes closer, I will post our week 3 picks so people can check those out as well.
First down, Jalen Hurts up the middle. Let's go.
That's a way to end the episode right there.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. Sorry I was late, but thank you, everybody, for watching another episode of the Sideline Specialists. We will catch you guys next week. Peace.